White Claw.
Don't know if that got picked up. That's the sound of a blackberry White Claw. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 84 of Wildly Adequate, the show about anything, everything, and usually nothing. I, once again, am one half of your hosting crew, Mr. Matthew Erso, and I am joined by, as always, Mr. Patrick Fahim. Radical. And how's Patrick today?
Just slightly hungover. Just slightly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So low energy vibes today.
A little bit.
Does the thought of me drinking this White Claw make you sick?
No. Well, I mean, it would make me feel uneasy just because I don't like White Claws, whether I was hungover or not.
I'll tell you what, this blackberry White Claw, delicious. You were out and about yesterday.
Was out and about yesterday.
Why don't you regale us all with your tales here? Because we don't know if we're doing topics or just shooting the shit again. So,
well,
talk to us.
Well,
talk to us.
Oh God, talk to. Would you accept an invitation to talk to a podcast?
Absolutely, purely just to promote our shit.
Exactly.
Like I'd go on and be like, hi, I'm Matt. It's a pleasure to be here.
Would you be frank with her?
What do you mean?
Would you be frank with what's her name? Haley Welch?
Sure.
Would you be frank with her and discuss her rise to fame and how
ridiculous it all is?
Yeah.
Sure. I thought you were going to say, like, would I be frank and be like, this show is shit and I don't understand how, like...
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I haven't seen the show. I'm not going to assume right off the bat that it's not good. Maybe it's good. I don't know. But
maybe it's good. Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, she's doing better numbers than we are, so,
Oh, God, yeah.
There's got to be
Let's take a look at her. Let's take a look at her YouTube page real quick.
This is why I would go on, just to use her audience to hopefully promote our stuff. And be like, hey, do you like mindless nonsense? Come check out Wildly Adequate.
Do you need background noise?
Exactly. Speaking of checking out Wildly Adequate, if you like the show, please like, share, subscribe. Check us out. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're all over the place. Check out the socials. Check out the channel. Fucking come to Patrick's house. Give us money. Do whatever you need to.
So... Miss Haley Welch. Mm-hmm. Is that a southern accent? Is that
maybe?
Okay. Has 174,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And she has 43 videos up. I don't really know where all the videos are though. It's only showing me 8. But yeah, she's getting about 500-600 average, I guess, 1,000.
Wow. What's that like?
Yeah.
What's that ad revenue like?
I don't know. We should ask her.
If only we should.
I mean, doesn't she communicate with fans?
I have no idea.
I mean, we're not fans.
Definitely not.
But that was a weird thing to say. Doesn't she communicate with fans?
We're definitely not fans.
No.
Anyways, this is a whole side tangent here. Please, regale us with last night.
So here's the problem.
Why are you hungover, you addict?
Here's the problem. This spiel is gonna involve rodeos again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went to the rodeo last night.
When other time did you talk about rodeos?
We talked about it last week.
Did we? Oh, the bullfighting.
The bullfighting. But this wasn't bullfighting, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Here, let me send you a clip here. Maybe you can put it on the show.
I saw some of these clips that you had sent to.
Oh yeah, I sent you.
Today.
Yeah, I sent them to you. So yeah, you can put up a clip of the bull riding. there was this one guy. So your goal is to stay on there for 8 seconds, right?
Right.
And you get graded for your form, is what I've been told. And the bull gets graded for its intensity.
Mm.
So the more intense your bull is, the more points you'll get too. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this one guy. The bull was going crazy. He's on there for like maybe 5, almost 6 seconds. Around the 6-second mark, he goes perpendicular to where he was sitting. So he's parallel with the floor, and he stays on for another 2 seconds to get the 8 seconds. And the whole crowd went crazy, dude. The whole crowd went electric. It was quite the sight. I was so confused because it was like this whole sporting event where there were commentators. You know how there's like commentators for soccer games and UFC fights and whatever, any other sport you watch?
Yeah.
They had commentators. They were just talking the whole time, and their thing was getting picked up on the stadium sound system. We were just hearing the commentating. And I thought to myself, why is this so big? What person is growing up thinking, man, that's the dream right there? You know what I'm saying? This is what I want out of life.
Doing a rodeo.
Well, bull riding specifically, the whole thing was bull riding.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So who's growing up thinking, wow, this is what gives my life purpose? You know what I mean? And my friend turns to me, and he goes, Patrick, you got to understand, we're in the Midwest right now. And I'm like, okay. He's like, this is akin to like becoming an NHL player. And I was like, excuse me? You do realize we're still in a place where hockey is the top sport, right? Mm-hmm. So no, this isn't akin to being an NHL player. And the wackiness of the comparison is underscored by the huge pay disparity between bull riders and NHL players. So
yeah, something tells me those guys aren't making, $10 million a year like fucking Austin Matthews or some of these pricks.
Did you just say Oscar?
Austin
Matthews. No, well, I'm assuming, like the average income is not very high, but there was this one kid who won who won the bull riding yesterday. He's a 19-year-old from Texas. And the commentators were like, oh, he's a 19-year-old and he's already made $1 million or something like that.
Damn.
So maybe he made it from bull riding.
It's not too shabby.
That's not too shabby at all, right?
I would assume he made it from bull riding. Why else would they be like, here's this 19-year-old bull rider, and by the way, he made $1 million in like hedge funds or in stocks or whatever.
Exactly. He's a 19-year-old bull rider, and on his side gig, he's a venture capitalist.
On his OnlyFans, he's made $1 million. Like, what is this kid doing?
He is a top 1% male OnlyFans creator as well. He is a man who wears many hats.
Yeah, like, what is this kid doing?
The cowboy hat and the
cowboy hat, if you know what I mean.
The cowboy and the cowboy hat.
The cowboy hat and the cowboy hat.
You're absolutely
maybe the reverse cowboy hat, if you know what I mean.
Oh my goodness, Matthew! That's
I know.
A pretty interesting reference. Right there.
That's a little play on words there for everybody at home.
We can. Yeah.
So long story short, you went to a rodeo and got shit faced.
No, I didn't even drink at the rodeo, and I didn't get shit faced.
So where did you do all your drinking?
Well, I'm not done
at
with the
home
rodeo yet.
Alone.
Yeah, I'm a sad drunk, as you know. I'm not done with the rodeo yet, though. You want to move on from this quick, don't you?
No, I'm curious.
Okay, so at this rodeo, they had like games, and because it would take them time to set up the bulls, right?
Right.
And so they were having games in between sets or whatever. And this one game, there's like this host, this guy who's running around, hyping up the crowd, interacting with the crowd. You know what I mean? So he gets on the mic and he goes, all right, we're going to be giving away a new pair of cowboy boots.
Oh.
He says, everyone who's wearing cowboy boots tonight, if they're ripped up, if they have a hole in them, if they're messed up, run to the edge of the arena and give them to one of the staff members, and we're going to have a face-off. Whoever came with the worst boot is going to get a new pair of boots. and you see this mass of people running. I'm telling you, I've never seen more cowboys congregated in one place in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled up in a soccer jersey. You know how out of place I felt? There's all these guys with hats, the buckle, the boots, and they're walking around like this.
So
No,
what you're
I'm
saying
kidding.
is
I'm
it's
exaggerating.
Nicola's wet dream.
It's Nicola's wet dream.
Shout out our friend Nicola.
Shout out again, Nicola, which
Again,
we
Nicola.
shouted out last week.
Did we really? I don't remember anything.
We did.
As soon as we stop recording, and I edit the show, I immediately, it all leaves my head, and then I edit the show, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's what we talked about. And then after editing, it leaves again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only so much room in that pretty head of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Only a finite amount of space.
This is true.
But yeah, so you see this mass of people. They're taking off their boots. They're throwing at the guy, and the guy's like looking at some boots. He's like, okay, yeah, this one's good. He looks at another one. Oh, this one's too new. He whips it back into the crowd. He doesn't give a shit. So it was just funny to see the mass of people.
Couldn't you have gone over and been like, I don't have cowboy boots at all. Like, give me a pair.
He did mention that if you have shoes on that aren't cowboy boots and still messed up, you can enter. But the point is, your shoes had to be messed up.
Well, because I feel like at that point, see, if I was somebody in the crowd who wanted them bad enough, pull out a little pocket knife and just start carving up your boots, and then go over and be like, hey man, my shit's like falling apart. Like I need a new pair.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
Game it.
It was pretty random how they chose it in the end, to be honest.
That's-
But
Sounds about
not
right.
not worth it in my opinion. But yeah, but what was I about to say? He didn't pick. He's even though he said it doesn't have to be cowboy boots. All of the final contenders were cowboy boots. So,
Sounds about right.
sounds about right. Yeah. Were they discriminating?
Maybe.
Maybe. But I mean, it is fitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cowboy boots should probably go to a cowboy now.
One would assume, yes.
One would assume, so they don't go to waste.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so after we finished the rodeo, it was a pretty fun time. They had like moments where it was like a concert where they closed all the lights in the arena and everyone turned on their flashlights and we were singing. What were we singing? At one point we were singing Journey. What was that song called?
Sounds about right.
Street lights.
Don't stop believing.
People, don't stop believing. Yeah. So we were singing
What's
that song.
that song?
What's that song called? Yeah. But it was a good time. But yeah, after that we went home, we changed into some costumes and just hit the town for a nice Halloween night out. There was a few clubs having like Halloween.
And what was your
weekend.
costume?
I went as a member of Team Gryffindor Quidditch team.
Excellent.
Yeah, I got a couple of compliments.
Now that it
Even though
occurs to me,
I spent $9. Oh, hold on. Give me a round of applause. $9 on my costume.
I don't know if these claps are gonna come through, but if they
They
do,
didn't. Oh well, not on my end, but I can see it.
maybe
so
in the edit. And if they don't come through in the edit, I'll throw in like a cheering crowd. No, I won't.
Thank you. Okay.
It occurs to me also to mention that this episode will come out the Saturday right after Halloween, and unlike last year, we have absolutely nothing Halloween centric about this episode.
Other than talking about perhaps this part of the night.
So there you go. Well, because I don't really have anything this year to do. So before I just go off on this tangent, so you went to the clubs and that's where you did your drinking.
Yeah.
And then you stumbled home in a drunken stupor and
No.
passed out on the floor.
No,
I
I
woke
wasn't.
up this morning
I wasn't.
hungover.
I didn't drink as much as you're making it out to be. Why are you making it out as if I was dead, dude? What the hell?
This
No,
is
it was
a
fun.
routine problem for you.
This is a routine problem for me, indeed. But no, it was fun. We saw some interesting costumes. We saw Jesus. He got a lot of praise.
As he should.
What a word I just used there. There were these two guys dressed up as penguins, and I want to dress up as a penguin next year. There was this one guy. Oh my god, hold on. There was this one guy. I don't know if you want to put these pictures up, but I'll send them to your phone right now.
Please. Well, I feel like now I have to.
You might not want to.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe in that case I won't.
So they just. So we're dancing. It's me. So I was there with the other guy in my program, and we were with 3 other girls in our program. And as the night progressed, we were dancing or whatever, and random guys would just join our group. But it was kind of a hype. Yeah. So
this is
at
a
one
friend
point,
of yours, or just
this
somebody
is not
you saw?
This is not a friend of ours. This is someone who just joined our circle of dancing. And he goes, "Hey guy," he goes, "Hey guys," and we go, "Hey." He goes, "Guess who I am?" And he shows us the baby lotion. No, he shows us the baby lotion first.
Right.
And then we're like, what are you thinking? And then he turns around. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Diddy."
So here's the thing. I'm definitely going to throw these pictures up on screen right now, specifically the one where it's him from behind, where you see his robe says Diddy on the back, and the one of him holding the baby oil. But I will blur out his face to protect the innocent.
Sure, that's a good idea. Blur out the face.
But I will definitely be including those pics.
I kid you not, Matthew, you can't make this shit up. Mm-hmm. He comes to join our dance, and we're dancing, we're vibing with him, and then out of nowhere, a guy dressed up as a cop comes and joins. He doesn't even know the guy. He just starts dancing with us.
That's great.
So it's us, Diddy, and a cop just going crazy on the dance floor.
That's great.
It was hilarious, dude.
Wow.
Oh
no, sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I haven't really done anything Halloween-centric this year. I don't even really have a costume because currently, unless anything changes, I have no parties or events or anything to go to.
Are you sad and lonely?
No. And Varsh is still out east and whatever. She's coming home.
She's gonna go party.
Well, she was at a haunted house with some people yesterday, but she's home.
She's gonna go party though.
The day this episode comes out, she's home, just for the weekend or whatever. So right after Halloween.
Oh, there's still gonna be Halloween events that weekend.
Maybe, but she's getting in the Saturday morning early, and then she's gone Monday night, and Saturday she's just hanging out with her family and stuff, and then I'm only gonna see her Sunday, Monday maybe. So I don't think her and I are going to get wrapped up in anything. So what I'm basically saying is I don't have anything going on that requires a costume. What I was debating maybe doing this year, since I already have a couple leather jackets, was just getting a khaki shirt and a hat and doing an Indiana Jones thing.
Why? For who?
For me.
In your house?
No,
stay at home
if I was going somewhere, if I had a party or an event to go to, I'm saying.
Why don't you get the boys and hit Toronto?
But Halloween's on a Thursday.
Yeah, and?
I'm working Thursday.
Yeah, but they're still going to... I'm telling you, Halloween weekend is going to extend into the Friday and Saturday.
Sure. Well, Friday or Saturday, I might have stuff going on. It's, I'm pretty sure Eric was telling me that it's Allie's birthday. Shout out my good friends Eric and Allie. Eric, will have to get you on the show at some point. So Eric had mentioned to me that they're planning on doing something for Allie's birthday this weekend. Because her birthday is, I'm looking at it on my phone because I have to write this shit down, November 5th. So this Friday, Saturday, I think they're planning on doing something for her, but I don't think it's going to be Halloween centric. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I will have to go get a khaki shirt and a hat for this Indiana Jones outfit. But that was my idea, but then I don't really have anything to wear it for. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to fucking bother. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, that's
even though I love Halloween,
that's fair.
It's the second best holiday.
Yes, it's what's the first best?
Christmas.
I can support that.
Christmas is hard to beat.
It's hard to beat. Yeah.
Christmas is hard to beat. I think Halloween's definitely second. And the rest, honestly, after that, this is definitely a topic idea I've had written down for a long time of us ranking the holidays one day. Maybe we'll even save that for a more Christmas time episode. Maybe when we're on our break or whatever.
Sure.
So I won't get too into things, but I will say that right now, in thinking about it for 5 seconds, Christmas, Halloween, and then order everything else however you want.
Where's Valentine's Day?
That's what I'm saying. Past Halloween and Christmas, everything else is interchangeable. Put Valentine's Day at 3rd or 6th. Put Easter Day? Wherever you want. What was that?
Remembrance Day?
It's fine. I mean, it's an important day. I'm not taking away from it but I'm saying as a holiday.
Sounds like you're taking away from it.
I'm not taking away from that.
Sounds like you're belittling.
Don't turn me into Mia Khalifa. or one of these other
Oh,
people.
God. Oh God. Okay.
Who's out there
Let's
being
just-
like, oh, I hope the fucking veterans get PTSD or whatever. It's like, what are you doing? You didn't see that? You didn't see that?
No.
Oh my goodness, it was like controversy. There's been a lot of drama on like Twitch. Cuz there's that Hassan, what the fuck is his name? Piker. But is that his actual name or is that like his Twitch handle? Whatever the fuck. That guy, big Twitch streamer. Like he's been very vocal about the like, you know, pro-Palestine stuff and like everything going on in the Middle East. And then you had H3H3 who's Jewish, like kind of not like defending Israel or anything like that, but just kind of talking about like a lot of like anti-Semitic shit he's seeing going on. And there was this person who I guess is like one of the mods for this Hassan guy on one of her streams. She
What's
was
a mod?
based, I don't know, like I don't know that much about Twitch, but like I guess somebody who like helps with the channel or like manages like chat and stuff. I don't fucking whatever.
Oh,
but
a
she's sure, yes, she's related like to this Hassan guy, and she had said on one of her streams like basically the same thing of like, you know, I hope veterans and shit like get PTSD and all this stuff. And then like Mia Khalifa had a video the other day basically saying the same thing. And Mia Khalifa's thing was more like, so like she was trying, it's the whole thing's so weird. And I don't think she did a very good job of it. And I also don't think this was her overall point, but she mentioned the idea of like, see how shitty like veterans are treated in the States kind of thing. And like, then be all rah rah for your military and shit. So it's like, there's some point in there about like, yes, veterans aren't treated as well as they should be in the States, but it's like,
if she said what she said, then her whole point is overshadowed by that absolutely crazy statement.
well, but that's my thing, because people were trying to defend her and be like, oh, but she's trying to talk about like how veterans aren't like taken care of, and like the US and politicians will talk about how much they care about their veterans, but then they like treat them like shit, and you see all these like homeless people, and like a big chunk of them are like, you know, veterans and whatever. And it's like, okay, that's a valid point, but you could just make that argument.
Just say that.
You could just say
What's
that
wrong with you? Just say
instead
that.
of being like, oh, I hope you get PTSD so that you can see how badly you'd be treated back home kind of thing. It's like, well,
That doesn't make any sense. There's
I don't know
already
about
people
that.
you can point to that like I don't
yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
It's very odd.
Anyways,
Anyways,
so
it's a whole other thing.
That was nice to hear about.
You're welcome.
Let's move
Well, I'm
away
glad
from
you had a
that
good.
now.
I'm glad you had a good. You know, a good night last night. Good little weekend.
If you ever come out to Saskatoon, I'll take you to that place. It's really cool. It's not just, it's weird because it's not like a
The rodeo or the
club.
club? Oh, the club.
It's not like a club. You know what I mean? It has, you know, an area for the DJ or whatever, and like a pretty big dance floor. But there's also booths and like tables. There's pool tables in the back. There's arcade machines like to play Mario Kart and other arcade games. And then they had a heated patio where they were just making hot dogs. They're just selling hot dogs.
Nothing wrong with a little glizzy every now and then.
It was quite the setup. It was quite the setup last night. I don't know if it's like that every weekend or if it was just special because it was Halloween. But, well, the arcade games and everything else is definitely there every weekend. But, like, I'm talking about the glizzy specifically. And the bar, dude, there's, like, the bar goes almost around the whole perimeter of the place. Like, there was like, I want to say 8 places to get drinks. It was quite an interesting. I've never seen a place like that before. It was quite interesting. But the only downside is they require you to pay cash for the drinks, and of course they have their ATM set up in the place for you.
If they're that's one of those things where like I feel like I remember, was it this year or last year when we went to the city for Varsha's birthday, and we went to that
like 2 years
arcade
ago.
bar.
It's 2 or 3 years ago.
It was not. Her and I were dating at that point.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
We haven't even been together 2 years yet, so
2 years ago.
yeah, okay. So 2 years ago, before Varsh and I were dating, when we went to the city for her birthday, when we were at that arcade bar,
Yeah.
I feel like every time a club has something like that, where it's like a cover charge or whatever, where it's like whether it's fucking $5 or $20, whatever it is, it's like
But that wasn't a
there's
club.
arcade bar, but whatever. I'm saying places that have like shit like that, where it's like, oh, it's like a cover charge, or like, oh, we only want cash for this shit. I'm like, there's not a reality that exists where they're like taxing that
Oh no.
money. Like that's
no.
all just like they're just pocketing that shit.
Definitely the cover charge is not being taxed. I don't think.
Absolutely not. That's just like the club being like,
Actually,
hey, we're taking
though-
this money and we're not like filing it under anything and just pocketing that shit.
Actually, though, there's a lot of clubs that do the cover charge, but it's card, so that definitely gets taxed, I think.
Interesting. I haven't seen card cover charges ever. I've only ever seen like,
Really?
hey, it's like $20 a person to get in or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, usually it's the smaller places that do that, where it's like
Right.
cash to get in. But
Interesting.
But yeah.
But yeah, well there you go.
So
like
that
I was
was
saying. Good night last night. Good for you.
It was fun. It was fun. I actually really liked. So we went out. It was me, the other guy in my program.
Uh-huh.
We're the only two guys, by the way, across all of the years. I don't know if I mentioned this to you.
I think
the
you
second-
mentioned in passing one time that it was you, like that it was a very women-dominated program, I guess.
Yeah, well, clinical psychology is women dominated in general.
Right.
But in our program, it's the first years is me and him. Second years, no guys. Third years, no guys. Fourth years, no guys. Fifth years, no guys.
Mm-hmm.
So in the whole program. Anyways, so it was me, him, and then a friend of ours in our cohort. And then we went out with two girls who are second years. So yeah, it was a cool group of people. I'm looking forward to perhaps getting closer with them.
What do you mean
Maybe.
by that?
Like being a group of friends.
Just clarifying.
Okay. But what, did I say it in a weird way?
No.
Okay.
I was just clarifying.
One of the girls, one of the second years,
Mm-hmm.
she got approached by, I think, 5 guys
Mm.
in the, I want to say, hour and a half we were in there.
Mm-hmm.
And a few of these guys just went up to her, took her hand, and started dancing. And I swear to God, I went to the bar to get a drink. I get my drink. I come back. I'm going towards the dance floor, and I see him and her. This is what I see. Watch. So I'm the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the guy, and this
Don't
is
hit your
her.
head.
They're like dancing. They're doing some like dances, and then he like whispers in her ear, and she nods, and then I see her jump, and he grabs her hips, brings her down, like she's completely off the floor. So these are her hips, and then he launches her up into the air. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Where are these crazy dance moves coming from? And she leaves the guy, and we're like, what the hell just happened? And she was like, she says, he whispered in my ear, jump, just trust me. And
Jump, just trust me. That's a little vaguely threatening in a way, isn't it?
a little bit.
Jump, just trust me. Like that's almost got to like, what if I jump and you like sweep my legs, kind of thing.
She's trying to like attack her.
Yeah, like that's gotta. There's a slight like, I'd be a little like 90% like clearly we're dancing and having fun, but like 10% like is this guy about to fuck me up?
Oh my God. So that was definitely something that made me laugh my ass off. The whole jump, just trust me line. It's crazy. How confident do you have to be as a guy to like, you don't know her dancing ability. You don't know her
Right.
athletic ability. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also like, do you trust yourself to be able to hold this other person up, you know?
Yeah, this guy wasn't tall by any means. Like he was like
We're people
shorter
too.
and not muscular and not really that muscular. So he kind of deceivingly
We're
looked
people
a little.
too.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Short and
Matthew.
not that muscular. We're people too, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Matthew. You are people too, but
Thank you.
yeah, that's not the point here. But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it was a little deceiving with his stature, but yeah. Anyways, how about you? How about you regale me now? Tell me about you. Tell me about your night.
Which one?
Wow, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had such an eventful week.
No, me and Mark and Malcolm, who are both not here right now.
Wait. Sorry. Actually, sorry. Before you say what you're gonna say, I just want to give a vague statement out to the listeners. So, listeners, I have a question for you guys to ponder.
Ponder this.
Suppose you have a friend who continually makes poor decisions and continue lies to your face. What would you do about that friend?
Let us know down in those comments.
Let us know down in those comments. Think about that, listeners. Go ahead, Maddie.
You know, we got a comment on one of our recent episodes within the past like couple weeks or whatever. Because whenever I go to upload the videos to the YouTube channel, it shows me like all the other videos, and there's like, you know, the like dislike ratios, and it shows the comments, or it just shows a number.
Very good like dislike ratio.
We do, but it shows the comments, and
Yeah.
90% of the videos obviously have, you know, 0 comments. But there was one, I forget which episode it was, within the past week or two that had a comment on it. And every time I see a comment listed, I'm like, oh, let me go check out and see what this is. And I click it, and it was some, you know, YouTube user or whatever. And their comment, I forget what it was word for word, but it was basically along the lines of, I let a video I was watching like finish or play through, and it auto played your shit next. So it was just somebody who like totally organically stumbled across the thing and was like, hey, I was watching a video and it ended and it auto played this and I stumbled across your stuff. Hope you guys make it big or whatever. And I was like, aw.
What the heck? Did you interact with the comment?
I just liked it.
Oh, you should have said something.
I should have said subscribe, dude.
No, you should just say, oh, like, thanks. Like, I mean, people like it when, you know, someone like takes the effort to write back to them.
They do. I can relate to that.
Yeah. So why don't you do that right now?
Maybe I will at a later time when we're not
Okay.
recording.
Okay.
But yes, I just thought because we're asking people to respond in the comments to your question you just posed, but I thought that
Can you
was,
ask him what he liked? Like, why did he say that? Can you ask him what he liked? Can that be your response?
I don't think it was knowing what probably happened is the video started playing. Maybe it got like a couple minutes in before he realized, like, if it was just on in the background. I don't think he actually watched it and was like, oh, this is like something I like. I think it was purely just
So that's an option?
YouTube like auto recommended this to me. I saw it come up. It's this, you know, podcast being done by these, you know,
Yes.
random people or whatever, you know, best of luck kind of thing.
Yes, that's an option. But I think the more likely option is there was something that motivated him to put that comment. People don't tend to just do that.
I suppose.
So if you could ask him why did you leave the comment? Like, what did you like specifically? I'd be interested to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay.
2 of our co-hosts who aren't here right now,
Yeah.
and 2 of them and myself, and our friend Dewey, who's another person we'll have to get on here at some point, and a friend of Dewey's.
That'll be a funny episode.
Yes. Hit the casino Friday night.
Isn't it scary that there's a casino? I didn't even
20
know
minutes.
there's one. Yeah, literally just 20 minutes away from us.
I've always known it was that close to us. Like Mohawk Casino. I've always known it was that close. But it's never really registered to me. But like having
Was it
done...
Was it nice? Was it a
Yeah, it
nice
was fine.
casino?
It wasn't like swanky or anything, but it was, you know, it was totally fine. The only thing though was they had like a DJ in like the center of the first floor, because it's 2 floors. The second floor was like dead. There was jack shit going on up there. Other than they had like the high roller tables where you could play, you know, blackjack with like minimum bets of like $100 per fucking hand.
That's high roller? Wow.
Well, you know, for a casino like that in that area, it's not like a
guess so.
Vegas one where it's, you know, insanity.
$1 million buy-in.
Yeah, exactly. But on the first floor where all the people were and everything like that, they had a DJ playing music. And, you know, some of it was my kind of music, and some of it was, whatever stuff. But it was totally fine. But it was like so obnoxiously loud. And the blackjack table that Mark and Malcolm spent basically all night at, and that I was at a little bit too, and so was Dewey, was the one right next to the speaker bank or whatever. And it was so loud that everybody else at that table was talking to our dealer and then getting her to like talk to the pit boss and be like, is there any way we can just lower the music a little bit? Because this is obscenely loud. Like, it was obnoxiously loud. And eventually they turned it down a little, and then it was fine. And some other person working at the casino came over to our table and was just like, hey, we lowered the music a little bit, but we can't turn it off or anything, like that, or we can't put it too low because it's, whatever. And a guy sitting at our table was talking to him. He's like, yeah, but it's not a club. Like, it's a casino, and we're trying to play this game here, and you can't really fucking hear yourself think because of how loud it is. And the guy working there was like, well, it's a Friday night and blah, 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 and there's lots of people. And it was like, but again, it's not...
Not a club.
It's not
a dance floor. No dance floor here.
Or a dance floor. But that was just a minor thing. But yeah, it was a good time. Had fun.
So this is the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
We need numbers. So we need entries, and we need exit numbers.
Well, I don't want to air Dewey's dirty laundry. I'll let him speak for himself. But let's just say he lost his shirt. I don't know what he came in with, but he definitely lost some. He lost some cheddar. Not serious. It wasn't like anything, world ending. But it was.
Yeah.
It was like.
It was enough to hurt.
It was. It was some money. It was in the triple digits, low triple digits. I lost like $40.
What you going with?
Like 100-ish.
Okay.
And I was down pretty fast. Yeah, pretty much. I was down to blackjack pretty fast, but then I managed to claw some of it back at the roulette wheel. And Malcolm was the big winner of the night because he walked in with like $50 and walked out with $500. Mm-hmm. And Mark also could have walked out with $500, but he bungled it, which he's still annoyed about. And I'm sure if he heard me saying this, would be even more annoyed about. Because he was down like $250, but then clawed his way up to like $700. So he could have been down $250, but basically made $500. Mm-hmm. But he kept going and then started to lose a bunch, and then was trying to get back to the 700, or I guess the 500. And that didn't work. So he wound up walking out of there with $250, which not too shabby by any means to be walking out of a casino with $250. But he was very much annoyed that he walked out with $250 when he could have walked out with double that, had he just, not continued down the path.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, can we do an exercise here?
Please.
So, there's this roulette strategy I've been thinking about. And it's picking a color, staying on that color. And every time you lose a hand, you double your next bet.
Mark was telling me about this, your idea that you just keep going.
Yeah. So can we entertain it if you lost 10 hands and won the 11th hand? So take out your calculator for me.
I'm pulling out the calculator. Calculator is at the ready.
So let's just say you start at $10.
Sure.
So you lose 10.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 20.
Like you're losing another 20.
Yeah, so we're just adding to what you're losing, pretty much. So do plus 20. If you want to make it negative, sure. Mm-hmm. Plus 20, then do plus 40. Plus 80. Plus 160. What's 160 times 2? Plus 320. 640. 1,280. 2,560. 5,120. How much have you lost?
You're $10,230 in the hole.
So, you put 10,240 down. What happens when you win that? If you win that 11th hand?
You put 10,240 down?
Yeah.
$10 more dollars.
You win what you put in, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, you get it back. So you're at 10,230 in the hole.
Yeah, so
you're
get
saying
what you
if
win,
you
no?
put 10,230 in on the next one.
10,240, because that's multiplied. Remember, double each hand that you put in. So your number is just like accumulation of what we've lost. I've been keeping track of the doubles.
Yes.
So 10,240 is the 11th hand, roughly the 11th hand you'd play. I don't know if I counted correct.
Right.
But you'd get that back, so you'd get double your money back.
So you'd win 20 grand, 480.
Exactly. And then you lost how much?
We said 10,230.
Mm-hmm.
So you've made 10,250.
Okay. Interesting.
That sounds like a fine enough system.
Here's the thing. There's two things that need to be, I guess. Oh,
you triggered balloons. Yeah! Great. Wonderful. Yeah! Why does that trigger balloons? I fucking did it too! What the hell's happening?
We're having a party over here.
Why does that trigger balloons? What the fuck?
Okay, so there's two things that need to be fulfilled. One, you need to start at a place where you give yourself like a decent amount of room to go forward, where you can double and still have money to play.
Yes.
The second thing is if the casino, I don't know if there's anything known about roulette and if it truly is 50-50 between red and black. What is it then?
I don't know what the exact math works out to be, but because the green 0 and the green double 0, that always tips it in the house's favor. And the roulette thing I was playing at had a triple green 0, which tips it even more in the house's favor.
So there's equal numbers of red and black, right?
Yes, but if you pick black, you're playing against the even number or the same amount of red numbers plus 2 green numbers.
Yes. The point is as you continue trials of like the spin,
yes,
the proportion of how many times it will land on black will be equal to its share on the wheel. I guess. Just to make it more easy, like let's just say it was 50-50, there was no green spots. Mm-hmm. Even if red is like hot at some point, they keep playing, right? So as you take into account more trials, it levels to 50-50. But the question is, at what point does it do that? You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's my thing. I think the system, I guess, maybe mathematically works out because even if you include the greens, eventually it's going to hit black. But the example you just gave was 10 spins, which was $10,000 in, and then you're only making like $20 in that. You were down $10,230, and when it finally hit, you made $10,250. So you've made $20. So it's not even really that worth it of a system to game out. And the problem with that system is that requires you to be able to be $10,230 down
sense, Matty?
and be like, Matty, I'm going to play another 10,000.
Pause. How does that make sense?
What do you mean?
You said we won 20,000 something.
Sorry, no, you're right. You're right. Yes. You've made 10K. So that part of the equation checks out. You will win the 10 grand, but that requires you to go in and be able to last.
Yeah, you need to be able to last. That's the thing.
Because if you get if you only go in with $1,000 by like the third, fourth, whatever, fifth spin, you have no
And
more
that's
money to keep going.
and that's also under the assumption that you're just losing over and over again.
Sure.
Like, what if you win and you were at a lower bet?
Sure,
You know
you
what I
might
mean?
win it on like the third bet, and then you've
And
made like
that's
$100-something.
and that's something, and I know we've talked about this before, that this like really professional gambler who's really popular online, he talks about how one of the best strategies apparently is like not being in the casino very long, go in, go out, big bets. Go in, go out, big bets.
Mm-hmm.
That's his whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a career though. Not a career for me
No,
at least.
definitely not. Definitely
Not
not.
not something I could pin my life on. That's for
No,
sure.
definitely not. But it was a good time. Glad to go, and shout out gambling.
Shout
It's
out
fun,
gambling.
and everybody should do it. Wildly Adequate
Um,
approves
And
gambling.
and if you're not old enough,
Do it anyways.
backroom gambling, exactly,
Mhm.
with your friends.
And if you have a gambling problem, 99.9% of gamblers quit right before they hit big. So
That's so horrible. 99.9% of gamblers quit before they win big.
And also, please don't take any of this seriously. I'm kidding. Some asshole's gonna fucking watch this and go gamble away his life and then sue us and be like, "But these guys said I could do it."
Imagine if that actually holds up in
And
court.
somehow he'll win, and then we'll have to pay him all kinds of money.
Yeah, that'd be a very humorous. That could be a situation that makes us famous though, honestly, because of how humorous it is. If we document it on video and just have podcasts talking about the whole ridiculous case,
That's how we blow up
that's how
with
we
a
blow
court
up.
case.
With a court case, exactly. Yeah.
So there you go.
So there you go. That's my night. That's your night.
That's our nights. Yeah, I know. Riveting shit, I'm sure.
I know we lead such
Interesting
Um,
lives.
interesting lives, and that's why we have so many people listening to us day in, day out. They want to just hear what's happening with the P-man and the M-man, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you on your mind?
I don't know. I have, like I was saying before we started going here, I have topics, but
Trump
I
went
don't
on
know.
Joe Rogan.
Huh?
Trump went on Joe Rogan.
Trump did go on Joe Rogan. I
You watched
have
that?
not watched it yet. I don't know if I'm going to. I might just out of like a morbid curiosity check it out eventually, but I don't know.
It has. Do you want to know the numbers on it?
Oh, it must have insane numbers.
Let's go ahead and take a look.
It was at almost 1 million after an hour when Mark and I checked on Friday night.
So, hold on. I'm on Google and not YouTube for some reason.
He's Googling.
So, he is currently at 29 million views in one day.
There you go.
Averaging
doesn't make any sense.
More doesn't?
It's been out since Friday. So it's coming up on 48 hours is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, YouTube does it by day, so they don't give me the decimal.
So let's say 2 days, 29 million views.
Well, what time did it come out on the Friday?
Like later at night.
Later at night. Okay, so we're at a day and a half right now.
Sure.
Okay, so a day and a half, 29 million views. Less than 1 million views per hour. It's averaging slightly less, I guess.
Insanity.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's relevant. It's election season, baby. And I thought Joe Rogan said he wasn't. He seemed pretty adamant. I will not have Trump on my podcast.
But wasn't that a while ago?
That was.
I don't remember
not
that recently.
Too long ago.
I remember him I felt like it was like a year ago. Him being like, "Nah, I'm not
No,
gonna."
he reaffirmed that statement perhaps a month ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he reaffirmed that statement perhaps a month ago, saying he refuses to have Trump on his podcast. But now that he's had Trump on, does he have Kamala on?
I assume he would. I know there's a clip from an episode that was he had another guy on like after Trump, and I know I saw a YouTube clip because they do like the clips from his podcast. I know there was a YouTube clip going around. Basically, that was about that of like, would he have Kamala on or would Kamala come on? I didn't watch it. I assume he would. Why would it like? it's only in his best interest to have her on.
Yeah, because it would make good numbers too.
Yeah, exactly. Even if like portions of his audience that are more like right leaning are like, "What the fuck? You're having her on?" Like, it doesn't ultimately. Any publicity is good publicity. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, that's never really deterred Joe Rogan.
Also, that it's so funny to me though because when Kamala Harris went on that Call Her Daddy podcast, which is like one of the top 5 podcasts like in the States or whatever, and all these fucking people were like, "Oh, I can't believe she went on this podcast," and like all the fans of the, not all the fans, but like some fans of the show, and fucking people who aren't fans of the show but pretend like they are, were like, "Oh, I can't believe the Call Her Daddy girl would sell herself and like fucking have Kamala on this podcast and blah blah blah."
Sell
and
herself?
And then
What does that mean?
Trump goes on Joe Rogan and like, where's all the complaining now, assholes?
I mean, it's interesting because I don't really know what Kamala's strategy was because the audience of the Call Her Daddy podcast is a constituency I think she's already winning. So I don't know if that really helped her.
Well,
too
it's
much,
definitely
to be
a
honest.
female-centric show, but I think it kind of goes like a little bit across the board, politically speaking.
You think it does? Perhaps.
I would venture a guess. So I think the assumption was like, let me do this, you know, to either reaffirm people who are already in my camp or like try and maybe pull over whatever right-leaning people I can or more like centrist or undecided people,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, in any case, like I think the Joe Rogan audience is pretty diverse. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm not
I mean, I would
laying down
assume
the
so.
land. Yeah.
Because again, like I know there are people on both sides, I feel like, who would be like, "Oh, Joe Rogan, like he's too liberal," and then there's people who'd be like, "Oh, Joe Rogan, he's like too right," and I feel like there's fans kind of all across the aisle. So I would venture
Well,
a guess that
not just because of him himself, but like because he frequently has people from all over.
well,
with
yeah,
all
who
types
he
of
has
different
on
thoughts.
too. Like when he has, you know, an actor or like a musician on, I think that kind of draws everybody. And even same thing when he has like, I mean, he's had fucking like Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard and like all these people on, and I assume
Sal Volcano.
who?
He's had Sal Volcano on.
Yes,
Sal?
this is true. This is true. But I assume when he has like a political figure on,
Yeah.
you have people on that person's side coming, and you have people kind of opposed to it coming to see like, what the fuck's this all about?
Yeah, like what are they talking about, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because usually because the good thing about his thing is that he really tries to get them to like talk about like in detail, like what they're about, kind of thing.
Well, that's what
It's
I was
not-
telling Mark I was annoyed about with Trump being on Rogan, and obviously I haven't seen it yet, but even some of the like clips from that episode, like the thumbnails and headlines and shit that they uploaded, I would have wanted him to sort of like grill Trump a little more and like actually kind of like hammer him on shit or like get real answers out of him, but it sounds like, from as far as I can tell, it's more of like a, what's it like being fucking president or whatever, and like how surreal is that, and like the fucking White House and all that stuff. And it's like, that's I don't give a shit. Like that's not what I would have wanted. Like I remember the Joe Rogan episode from years ago where he had, before Elon Musk bought Twitter, when the guy who like originally created it, that Jack Dorsey, I want to say is his last name, guy who like was the CEO of Twitter and the guy who like founded it and everything, when he had him on and like some other person who was like a high up at Twitter, and then he brought on Tim Pool, who back in the day, Tim Pool was kind of fine, unlike now when he's just this like right-wing fucking grifter who sold his soul for money. And that to me was like a very interesting and well done episode, because it wasn't even so much him talking and asking and stuff. He basically just let Tim Pool like fucking grill these two Twitter people about like shit going on their platform and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, this is like, interesting, and like you're actually kind of forcing these people to like give you an answer to shit and like have an honest conversation about stuff. And I feel like with this Trump thing, it's just like not that at all. So it's like, well, I don't fucking care what he thinks about what it was like being, you know, the president or whatever. It's like, you know, how about a question
assuming that's all it is, right?
Assuming that, again, I haven't watched it, so it's not completely fair, but it's just the things I've heard talked about from it, and like even the clips and shit that they put out about it, none of it's been like, here's me talking to Trump and asking him, you know, will you actually like, you know, concede if you lose, or if you win the 2024 election in 2028, will you step away, or will you fucking say, you know what, I'm gonna do a third term? Like, I don't think that's not the impression I get from it, is what I'll say.
I see. Well, I mean, I haven't watched it either, so I can't comment, but yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Although I am interested to watch it, so I would like to make time at some point to listen to it, not watch it, I guess. Well, I mean, I guess you could watch it. There's a video.
It is true. It's a video show, just like this one.
Just like this one.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like a morbid curiosity in me to check it out at some point, just because it's like I'm just curious to see what, if anything, is like substantial from it, and what's not just like, you know, noise and bullshit and whatever. Yeah. How long do you think we could get away with sitting here in silence for?
I was hoping you'd let it sit for a little longer.
Nice little pregnant pause. Well, I guess we, you know, made the decision ourselves, and we didn't do any topics. We just talked about, you know, anything, everything, and usually nothing.
Indeed.
There you go.
Indeed, we did.
I guess we'll start to wrap this up.
We can start next week's episode by talking about the Trump episode.
Can we?
Because I'll probably... we can. Like, I don't know if you'll have a chance to look at it by then, but I think I'll probably be able to do that.
I don't know. We'll see. We're getting close. We're getting real close to that election, though. That's next week.
Oh, my God. Is it next week?
Friday is November 1st. And next
but the election is November 6th.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, next week.
Next week.
That's right, yeah. Friday,
imminent.
November 1st.
I was telling the guys yesterday, it's funny to me, like I was joking to them. I was like, oh, not that I want this, but I was joking. I was like, oh, Trump's going to win for sure. And they were like, why? And I was like, 8 years ago, leading into the 2016 election, almost to the day, on Hillary Clinton's Twitter account, she posts, or someone on her fucking team posts, happy birthday to this future president. And it's like fucking Hillary Clinton like smiling and whatever. And everybody at the time, I remember being like, it's a bad omen. And almost 8 years to the day, on Kamala Harris's fucking Twitter account, happy birthday to this future president. Oh, and all these comments and shit were like, no, like you did it. You pissed it away. Like, that's it. It's over. Like, you brought the omen back. So I was just joking to the guys where I was like, that cocky fucking omen. That's it. They've done it again.
That's super funny.
They didn't learn.
But yeah, the like as it stands, like as the state of the race stands, it seems like it's very close in the swing states.
Which is fascinating.
Poll after poll shows them within margin of error of each other. So it'll be a nail biter. We're talking as if it's like a sports game.
I know.
It's gonna be a nail biter.
Listen, whether it's a sport or not, you can be sure that I'm gonna bet on it.
You can. We're not sponsored by Bet Online, but Bet Online lets you bet on real world events. So if you guys want to do that, check them out. Sponsor us, Bet Online.
Check out FanDuel. Check out fucking The Score.
Yeah.
That's another one. There's got.
I don't know if they let you bet on presidential or politics. I don't think every site lets you bet on politics.
Damn. Lame.
Yeah. It's called The Score, Matty.
This is true. This is true. Fair enough, I suppose. Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty then. I guess we'll wrap
That's another
up.
power hour.
That's another power hour for you. I don't know what I'm going to call this because it feels weird to call it another power hour. We'll see what happens.
The Matty and Patty special. Do you
I
want to
don't
just
know.
lead into the Matty and Patty stuff or no?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what I come up with. What else you got going on for today while we get out of this?
So I have to work on a grant that I'm writing, and that has unfortunately gone under the radar for me. So I'm going to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making lunch for my family friend's mom and her because they
Wow.
have treated me very well the past few weeks, giving me food every single week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the least I can do for them. I will be releasing a clip tonight is the plan. And a clip
What?
tomorrow.
What?
And I want to be able to release a clip Tuesday as well. So that's what
Wow.
I'm aiming for. I'll probably hopefully make 3 clips tonight at some point. And I'm not worried about the timing. Like I was thinking to myself, oh, like I'm not gonna be able to release a clip if I can until like maybe like 9 p.m. their time. But I'm like, whatever, just like it's better to have it out than not out. Is
Yeah.
my mentality right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, work on that, and then I need to go to school to review some materials for an assessment I'm doing tomorrow. So yeah,
Yeah.
got a lot going on today.
There you go. A lot on your plate.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Splendid.
What do you got? What do you got going on for the rest
Jack shit. I did a little bit of work this morning. I applied to another job. I beat Silent Hill 2 yesterday. Last night. Fantastic game. So I'm probably now I've got like I'm still also playing GTA 4. And I think I'm going to start. I got a Castlevania game on my 3DS that I haven't gotten to yet. So I think I might start that and have that be my sort of 2 games right now. Because as I've told you before and maybe mentioned on the show, I can't really play more than 2 games at a time because it's too much. And I get lost in the sauce. But yeah. So I'm probably just going to chill. Maybe I'll get some more shit done. Who knows? I've started putting together... This is... Not to get into the weeds on this, but I have this idea for a video I'd like to make, like to release around the end of the year, release on the channel here, for whoever really gives a shit about it, and do like a sort of top 10 or my top 10 games of the year. Because I usually like I keep track of all that myself on like
Can you
lists
do like a
and whatever.
review where like you know the IGN videos that like have like the voiceover?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that?
Well, I think I'm gonna film myself for some of it, but then I've like been getting footage from like some different games that I know are gonna be on the top 10 to have like
Do that.
B-roll running
Yeah.
and whatever.
So you'll have your video and then the voiceover when you show the game clips.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know. I think I might. I've like been collecting footage like B-roll and some images and shit and music, because I think I'm gonna just throw something together. Because last year I know I did it on my personal Instagram, where I did it as like 10 stories or whatever, and each story that you would click through would be like a picture and just like a little bit of text, about like the games. And I think I might do that again this year, but I was like, well, what if I did it as like a full-blown, maybe like 10-15 minute video and uploaded it here kind of thing, just to sort of do it that way and do something a little creative and have fun with it. Because, like we said, we've talked about doing different stuff with the channel and the show. So I thought,
Indeed.
why not try that?
Lean into it. Lean into it.
Yeah, so there you go. So maybe I'll work on that. Probably not. We'll see what happens. Will I go have another White Claw because I'm empty here? No, maybe a beer instead. But yeah,
Okay.
That's it. That's everything. Are you satisfied, Patrick?
Always a weird word in my opinion to use, but sure, yeah.
Patrick's satisfied.
Reluctantly so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Splendid. Well then.
All right, play the outro music. Ready? 3, 2, 1. See you guys. See you on the next one. It doesn't work if I'm the only one dancing, buddy.
So now I'll do the actual. So now I'll do the
We
actual.
both have to be happy
Now
and
I'll do the
dancing.
actual outro here, but I am going to leave all that in with deafening
Great.
silence
Awesome.
for Patrick's embarrassment. Thank you for checking out yet another episode of Wildly Adequate. If you like the show, like we mentioned in the beginning, please like, share, subscribe, check us out. Hopefully next week, the four of us will be back. I don't really know. You know, Mark and Malcolm, we got to get their fucking lives together at some point. We'll see what happens. This is coming out right after Halloween. So, hey, happy Halloween. We hope you had a good one. Stay safe out there. And, you know, have a good time. Enjoy the second best holiday of the year. But that's a discussion for another day. Anyways, that's it. That's everything. We will see you in the next one.